Hey guys, welcome to the channel. This is episode 2 of the Virtual PPL series. If you haven't seen episode 1, I'll put a card in the top right of the video. But other than that, let's crack on with episode 2. So in this episode we will look at effects of controls and taxiing. But first we need to start our engine. So our pre-engine start, we'll check that the doors are shut. Our parking brake is on. Fuel selector can go on. Circuit breakers are all in and avionics are off. Starting engine checklist. We'll open our throttle 1/4 inch. Mixture can go rich. Master switches can go on. We'll turn our nav and beacon lights on. We'll prime a few times. And then we'll operate the starter. Once it's started, we'll check that the low voltage warning light is out. We're showing a positive charge. We've got suction reading and our oil pressure is in the green. So we'll just run through our after engine start checklist to make sure we haven't missed anything. So RPM set 1200. That's a bit high, we'll bring it down a little bit. There is no starter warning light, but the low voltage light is out. Oil pressure is good. Suction is in the green. Ammeter is charging. We'll check for dead cut on the mags. We'll check our flaps. So we're indicating 30 degrees and we have 30 degrees. And then we'll just check flaps retracted. Indicating 0. And they are retracted. Okay, so now we will move on to taxiing. First thing we want to do is turn on our taxi light. So to begin our taxi, we'll close our throttle. And then we'll release our handbrake and apply some throttle. Just a small amount. As we start moving, we can bring it back. And then we need to check our brakes are working. So we'll close the throttle, hit the brakes, they're working. Give it some power again. So it starts moving. And then close it a little bit. We'll check our right rudder. And then we'll check our left rudder. And they're all working okay. So we'll head over to our holding point. Runway 27 at Liverpool. Once you've got the aircraft going, you really don't need much throttle, or you can even close it most of the time. Just gently apply brakes when necessary and follow the yellow line. So just as we join the taxi, we will slow down a little bit. We'll check there's no aircraft coming. As we head down here towards our holding point, we'll just keep it central on the yellow taxi line. Keeping the speed a fast jog. There isn't any significant wind today, but if there was, we could turn. I can't get my yoke back, oh that's why. We could turn our aileron into the wind. And that'll keep it safer for us so we don't blow over. But we don't have any wind, so we don't need to do that today. We're going to hold Alpha 1 for runway 27. We'll just close the throttle. And we'll hold here so our parking brake can go on. And then we'll do our power checks. So our location is good. Parking brake is set. We'll increase our throttle to 1700 RPM. We'll check our T's and P's. So oil pressure is still a bit low. Sorry, oil temperature is a bit low. Our oil pressure is good, it's in the green. We have suction, and we're showing a positive charge on the ammeter. Operate the carb heat. Should see a small drop. There it is. Close the carb heat. Then we'll check the left mag. We're looking for a drop of no more than 125 RPM. Back to both. And we'll check the right mag. And back to both. Then we'll close the throttle. Check that it's idling correctly. And we're idling around about 800 RPM. We'll go ahead and put it back to 1200. We'll do our pre-takeoff checks. So we'll set our trim for takeoff. I'll make sure it's fully rich. Heartbeat is in and locked. Our primer is in and locked. Fuel quantities, we have sufficient fuel for the flight, and we're on both tanks. Flaps we don't require on this particular runway, very long. Doors, windows are all shut. Beta heat we don't require, we're not going into any cloud or anything, we're not going to go very high and it's not a very cold day. Instruments and gauges we'll check, they all seem fine. We'll ensure we've got the correct pressure setting on our altimeter, and then we'll align our compass and DI. So we're just showing 175 there, and it's about right on there as well. We're not going to go into comms or nav on this flight, but we will set our transponder to standby. And we are ready to depart. So once we're given clearance to enter the runway, we'll close the throttle, release the park and brake, and then we will increase the throttle until we start moving. We'll turn our landing light on, our strobe light, and put our transponder to alt. We'll just check that the approach is clear and departure, and then we will line up. And then once we've received our takeoff clearance, unless we've been given it straight away for immediate, we can go ahead, release our brakes, feet to the floor, full throttle, plenty of right rudder, keep it central down the runway, ailerons into the wind. There isn't any really today, so we'll just keep it like that. We'll check our temperatures, pressures, they're all in the green, airspeed's alive, and 60 knots, so we can rotate. And then we'll just trim it for an 80 knot climb. We'll keep our heading indicator on 270, which is with the runway. We'll just check our T's and P's one more time, and they're all looking good. And we'll climb up to 1,000 feet. So we'll level off at 1,000 feet, so just under 100 to go. And there we go. And then we'll just bring back our throttle to about 2300 RPM. and then we'll trim it to hold that altitude. We can go ahead and do our after takeoff checks, so our taxi light, landing light can go off. Check our T's and P's one more time. We're all looking good. Okay, so we're at roughly 2,000 feet, and we'll look at effects of controls. So I'm pretty sure you're aware. If you're not at this stage, if we move our ailerons to the right, to our yoke, we bank to the right, and same if we do the opposite for the left. If we reduce our throttle, our airspeed will start to decrease. If we try and maintain the same attitude, if we let go of the yoke, it'll try and maintain that airspeed by pitching down. Same if we increase the throttle, our airspeed will increase. If we don't do anything, the aircraft will pitch up. But if we try and keep the same attitude, our airspeed will increase. Operation of the flaps requires us to be in the white arc. So to get into the white arc, we need to bring back the power, maintain this attitude. Once we're in the white arc, we can then operate our flaps. And then we can retrim, maintain a set speed within that zone, within the white arc. And we can bring our speed back as much as we like. Let's see if we can hold it at 60. So if we need to pitch down a little bit, that's fine. And we just retrim. And now we're flying at 60 knots, nice and slow. To retract the flaps, just give it some throttle. Maintain pitch attitude, and we can slowly retract our flaps. Making sure the flaps are fully up before we leave the white arc. Okay, so now we'll look at the effects of the rudder. So I'll just hide the yoke so you can see the slip indicator bit there. So if I give it full right rudder, you'll notice this indicator turns to the right and the ball is indicating a slip to the left. And then vice versa with left rudder. If we maintain this attitude and use the rudder, we'll be slipping in the air as indicated by the ball on the slip indicator. Carb heat you would typically use when you have a low power setting, such as on descent. It's also part of your pre-landing checklist. You'll have on for approach and turn it off shortly before landing, so you have full power in the case of a go-around. Our mixture control controls the fuel-air mixture in the engine. So if we were to reduce this, we will get a reduction in RPM as the fuel mixture is decreased. Again, typically you would only really use that at high altitudes where there's less pressure. So you'd need to manually lean the aircraft to maintain optimum RPM. You have two types of mixture settings. You have rich of peak and lean of peak, and that'll be something we'll go through later on. That's it for today's video, guys. If you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up, and if you want to see more in the series, please hit the subscribe button. Thank you very much for watching.